The paradox of disclosure. A popular remedy for a conflict of interest is disclosure, informing the buyer, or the patient, etc., of the potential bias of the seller, or the doctor, etc. Disclosure is supposed to act as a warning, alerting consumers to their advisor's stake in the matter so they can process the advice accordingly. But as several recent studies I conducted show, there is an underappreciated problem with disclosure. It often has the opposite of its intended effect, not only increasing bias in advisors but also making advisees more likely to follow biased advice. When I worked as a physician, I witnessed how bias could arise from numerous sources: gifts or sponsorships from the pharmaceutical industry, compensation for performing particular procedures, viewing our own specialties as delivering more effective treatments than others' specialties. Although most physicians, myself included, tend to believe that we are invulnerable to bias, thus making disclosures unnecessary, regulators insist on them, assuming that they work effectively. To some extent, they do work. Disclosing a conflict of interest, for example, a financial advisor's commission or a physician's referral fee for enrolling patients into clinical trials, often reduces trust in the advice. But my research has found that people are still more likely to follow this advice because the disclosure creates increased pressure to follow the advisor's recommendation. It turns out that people don't want to signal distrust to their advisor or insinuate that the advisor is biased, and they also feel pressure to help satisfy their advisor's self-interest. Instead of functioning as a warning, disclosure can become a burden on advisees, increasing pressure to take advice they now trust less. Disclosure can also cause perverse effects even when biases are unavoidable. For example, surgeons are more likely to recommend surgery than non-surgeons. Radiation oncologists recommend radiation more than other physicians. This is known as specialty bias. Perhaps in an attempt to be transparent, some doctors spontaneously disclose their specialty bias. That is, surgeons may inform their patients that as surgeons, they are biased toward recommending surgery.